Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about Spanish series I recommend to help you with your Spanish language learning. First off, I want to talk to you about why it's a good idea to watch films or series in the language that you want to learn. And that's simply because you become accustomed to hearing it. You slowly start to recognise words or phrases, your accent improves, and the way you phrase things kind of becomes more native, I guess, than foreign. But I mean, of course, it's fine to sound foreign because you are foreign. But I think if you can talk and use phrases like the natives would, it gives you more self-confidence when you speak. Also, I want to add that it's completely up to you what language you have the subtitles in, as long as the audio is in Spanish or whatever language you're learning, because the listening training is really good. And at first I used to watch with English subtitles and listen out for like Spanish words and phrases that I recognise. But after I got better, I started watching with Spanish subtitles as well. And when I didn't know what just happened in a scene, I'd rewatch the scene or I'd translate the sentence into English, which was also really interesting because the English subtitles translate to how we would say something, and sometimes the meaning isn't the exact same as the Spanish. And once you can start to recognise that, then you kind of know that you're progressing. Now in this video, I'm not going to mention Elite or Money Heist because those should be givens, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of them like everywhere. But if you haven't seen either of these shows, go now. Go and watch them now before you even finish the rest of this video, I'm telling you. But instead I'm going to offer you shows that perhaps aren't so mainstream in the English speaking world. But first, for absolute beginners, I would totally recommend Extra en español. And they speak really slow, so you're not like, oh my god, whoa, what did they just say? Which is really common for me anyway. And it's about an English guy in Spain learning Spanish. It's really cringy, but I actually think it's really good for people who just start learning Spanish. And my Spanish teacher in school even recommended that to me, and it really actually helped me because it gets you to start listening and you can actually hear things rather than it being too fast. You learn vocabulary. This is actually on YouTube, not Netflix, so I'll link episode 1 in the description below. But on to Netflix. First up is Las Chicas de Cable, Cable Girls. It's about cable girls that worked in the Telefónica building in Gran Via, like the phone telecommunicator people, in the 1920s, and the struggles women faced during that time. And it's kind of like each main woman character had their own like problem, and it was actually really nice and really sweet for some of them. For example, my favourite character, she is just moved from a village to the big city and she doesn't really think of herself as much, but she's an amazing character and like she just grows. It's lovely. But then others are way more serious storylines about abuse and things like that. I really enjoyed it because Telefónica is still there, and it was really fun to try and recognise where things were filmed in Madrid. In the last few seasons it did get a little bit ridiculous, but by that point I was already attached to the characters. I just wanted to see what happened to them because the first few seasons were so good. This was the series that really actually developed my language to a more Madrid way of speaking, and it really boosted my confidence, and I ended up speaking a lot faster. So the second series I would recommend would be Control Z, or Control Z. I don't know why I said Control Z, I'm British. This series is about a mystery hacker that reveals students' darkest secrets in high school. And the main character is a girl who wants to discover this mystery hacker, obviously, because she's the main character. Season 2 literally came out about a week ago, so now that's on my list to watch. One thing to note, that it is a Mexican series, so if you're learning European Spanish, just beware. I personally don't think it's a big deal to watch things based in Spain or Latin America, depending on what version you're learning, because I don't think there's a huge difference. But if you want to stick to only European Spanish or vice versa, then of course that's totally up to you. It's just a heads up. So the third series would be 100 días para enamorarnos, 100 days to fall in love. And this series is about a group of friends from South America, I think a mix of Argentina and Mexico, I'm not entirely sure, who live in Houston and are all having their own dramas in their love life. But the main couple decide to separate for 100 days and see what happens. I literally just started this series. I'm on like episode 10, and at first I thought it was incredibly cringe and I was like, I'm only gonna watch one episode, but here we are 10 episodes later. Yeah, I confess I'm totally invested. So if you like rom-coms, I would recommend, because most rom-coms are cringe. But yeah, again, this is a Latin American Spanish, so just be aware. The next I would recommend would be Alguien, tiene que morir. Someone has to die. I watched it because it has Esther Exposito in it, who plays Carlota in Elite. I don't want to spoil anything about this series, but as the name suggests, it's quite a mysterious thriller. It's a 3-part limited series about this family living in the 1950s in Spain. The son returns from living in Mexico with a mysterious dancer friend. And at this time in Spain, they were still living under Franco's dictatorship, and appearances and family ties meant everything. They played a big part in their lives, and this is where a lot of unhappiness in the series stems from within the family. It's quite arty or unique in the way that they film certain shots, and for me, I found these shots a little bit weird and creepy, so they weren't really for me, but I would still recommend the series. It's an interesting watch. The next I would recommend is actually a film. It's called A pesar de todo, despite everything. It's about a group of sisters who on their father's death discover that they actually all have different dads. Plot twist. It's another comedy and a nice family reunion film, so I'd really recommend it if you like comedies again. I really enjoyed the film. I've got quite a few on my list that I am yet to watch, but I'm still going to recommend them to you because I think they would be good. And because I'm really excited to watch them. So the first is Rojo. It's about a group of prostitutes who are on the run from their pimp to get out of the business, and it looks very high-paced thriller, which I'm excited to watch. And the girls look really cool rebels. Another one is The Mess You Leave Behind, El Desorden que Dejas, and it's the second on my list. It is a thriller series, and it doesn't give much away in the trailer, but there's a dark secret, that's what I know, around the death of a teacher that the main character replaces, and she tries to solve what happened and gets involved with what happened to the old teacher while fearing for her own life. Who knows why? We'll have to see. Aaron Piper from Elite, I don't remember what his character name is, but Aaron Piper from Elite is also in this one, which may or may not be the reason why this one is on my list. But obviously Netflix has a whole bunch of films and series that you can go through and find. Or if you wanted to, you could even watch English films with subtitles or dubbing if they have that option. But there's plenty out there for you to get going, for you to get stuck in. Best of luck. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Adios.